Welcome, Michael at Wickerson Studios, as I build this application of learning Python, not just in Visual Studio Code or using Jupyter Notebooks, but also working within the canvas of Grasshopper for Rhino3D. And we're using Python 2.7 in that, but that's fine. We can try and use the same resources. And this is a guide to the resources that I found linked with book 1 in this. And there's 7 books in here. We're not going to spend too much time on book 6 and 7, but every time I finish one, I'm going to take those book chapters, 1 to 3 and 1 to 4. I'm going to close up the book 2, but I'm going to go into here and see the scripts that are coming out of it, so they're accessible to anybody who wants to look at them. But I wanted to show what I've been compiling on the side as relevant and important websites. So I'm going to put this on here for anybody who actually wants to jump to these sites and supplement. So this is in order as well. So book 1 is here. First of all, you're going to want to get Visual Studio and Visual Studio Code. That's the first thing you'll want to go to. Number 2, this is just kind of, you're probably going to want to get Git for your computer as well. So I'm going to put that one in there. The next one is Anaconda. You'll want to install that on your Windows, Mac, or Linux. JetBrains DataSpell is recommended as well as an IDE for professional data scientists, even though I'm not prepared to jump into it that deep as of yet. Anaconda Nucleus keeps coming up again and again as a system to organize Anaconda as well and stay contemporary and up to date with that. Anaconda is what I've downloaded, and within that, when you've opened an Anaconda, it's pretty beautiful because you have access to all these not just the environments download, but all the learning tools and all the community tools. So you really want to get that one up and running for sure, and you'll need it to continue. I think you should have it. I think the world's most popular, I probably put it in twice because it was so important. Welcome to Python.org is where you can do all of your learning, whether you use this textbook for dummies or use a Head First book as well, or all the other Python books. But this is your source code that you really should probably be going back to. And then I did download the links to Python 7 because that's the book that I'm working with. Dummies, 7 books contained within here. And Learning Made Easy, I think this is where I jumped in and I was able to download more information, if not the scripts that you'll be using from book 4 to book 7 if you go farther into it. That's book 1, but book 2, I have more information. So the Python tutorial, you may want to go down and read through and see what's happening. That's a great site for that. I did put in my own YouTube because my YouTube channel is funneling not just my channel is everything tied to Grasshopper that I've done so far, but how that moves into Unity, C#, Python as well. It's a nice site, and if you're working with my videos, it's kind of nice. Stack Overflow is essential for any developer. Very important site to have a peek on. Google, you're going to want to jump into. It's pretty self-explanatory. Bing, the same thing. I guess I'll go there just so you can see the site. It's nice and colorful. Then I have a PowerPoint presentation here from cheat sheets that I've downloaded. You should always have reference to those quick on your computer, or possibly print out some if you have a printer and you want to keep those beside you. GitHub Copilot's absolutely fantastic. If you're a student or faculty member, please sign up for it. Send in your student ID and get it for free. If not, it's free for another month, and then you can pay $10 or up to $100 a year for it. Definitely worth it for what you're going to do in Visual Studio Code. Markdown languages you might want to know a little bit about, and the fellow that wrote the book, All in One for Dummies, definitely has some really nice guides for that. And here's one exactly from Mr. Simpson, and you can follow through exactly what you might want to do with Markdown language if you're headed towards web design. Jupyter Notebooks, another thing to learn as much as you can about. He's got another great tutorial on that coincides with the book, which I would recommend as well. So that's chapter 2. Now moving into chapter 3 of book 1, getting started. A PDF of, why did I put this in here? Getting started with OneDrive, and it's just a little bit of information in OneDrive because that's where I store all of my files on my computer, on Windows. not really necessary for everybody. PEP, you're going to want to know PEP, which is now referred to as code script or something like that. They've changed that from PEP 8, so you can get in there and find the guidelines of what you actually have to follow for PyCode. Yeah, there it is, PyCode style. And then there's a link to the PyCode style when they changed to 2.8 Python to use that instead of PEP. So that's a little shorter guides for chapter 3. And then the final one, I want to just cover a few. The Python tutorial, I bring it up again because you'll be back looking at that as quick reference for any development, any documentation that's required. Wickerson Studios, a little plug for myself within my Patreon. If you're interested in supporting and continuing this project, I'm not going to stop. It's just followers, even at the $3 level, or even comments, even if you're not, just send it in and let me know if I'm on the right path with this or if it's kind of redundant. Obviously, it's just myself learning, but it's at a pace and it's connected in a way to Grasshopper and Rhino in a way that's kind of unique. And I've taken a real interest in that as well. And like I said, I'll try this with C# as well when I'm done. And then the GitHub is where I have everything tucked away, and I'll keep updating it as I put through all the books and all of the Grasshopper scripts that you can have access to and have a peek at. They're quite large by the time I'm done. Each section, as I go, you can see that they're all in here. These will be available through the GitHub if you want to have access and know why it's relevant to what I'm doing. I'm just going to keep doing it, with or without anybody else's permission. It's how I choose to spend my time. I'm enjoying it. I feel like my mind can wrap around these things, and that will set us up for the links that I will put in for chapter 2. And that's where it gets to the numbers, dates, and text. So you're going to jump into some pretty hardcore websites on that, from time zones to formatting string methods to getting into binary, octal, and hexadecimal numbers. So I'll just leave it at that. So thanks very much for watching. Michael at Wickerson Studio. Just a quick overview guide of the resources online for Book 1, chapters 1 through 4 of All-in-One Python for Dummies. Thanks very much for watching.